Okay, we live. We live.
All right.
What's up, Facebook, YouTube?
Hey.
L Boogie Speaks in the building. No, let me stop. We got D. She's in the building. We're going to be talking about the latest trending topic on social media, which is the teacher. Do you know what state that was in? What city?
I know it was Rock Mountain or Rocky Mount or something like that.
Okay.
So it wasn't in Michigan. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let me see if
So
I
so so judging from the video, I didn't have time to upload it so I could replay it and take it apart, but I'll try to do that next time. But what do you think? Looking at the video from where it was started, from where they started filming to the end, and the big question is who's at fault?
Oh, it was in North Carolina. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know what started the girl or the teacher from taking the phones because I'm seeing different stories where they said that the teacher, the substitute teacher, took the phones from everybody, but she just didn't give that one particular girl her phone back, and because she started cussing at her. But my thing is, why were the phones taken in the first place? It was
Yeah.
what?
No, I'm sorry. That was my phone. I cut my volume down. I'm sorry.
Oh, you okay? But I don't understand why the phones were taken in the first place. That's the first thing. But with the girl being in her personal space, she just defended herself. That was my opinion on that. Like, if you don't want to get treated like an adult, don't act like an adult. And the parenting comes from, the way the girl acted. I feel that the mother needs to be addressed because nobody's even said anything about the mother
Right.
at all.
Right. Which is probably why she felt that it was okay for her
Right.
to go up to an adult. I said they both were wrong, but
Mhm.
ultimately I feel that adults supposed to have more self-control and you're a professional. So I worked in the school system. I've
Mhm.
seen some of the most horrible kids. I've gotten in between fights when I was pregnant and held
Oh.
two boys up by the collar of their shirts to pull them apart. And these
Mhm.
were fourth graders that had got kept behind. So they wasn't no regular average size fourth graders. These fourth graders was like 11, 12 years old. So
Oh,
they were
wow.
big. And I just remember several times when you just want to slap the shit out some of these kids. But you have to remember, these not mine. They
Right.
don't know no better. I can express this to to the administrators and to the parents because hitting them is going to cost your job and it's going to land you in jail or maybe even dead if the parents is ghetto. So I
Exactly.
think the teacher lost control and she should have had more control. It seemed like she was going through her phone from the video I saw, the
Mhm.
angle I saw. It looked like she was going through her phone. And that probably triggered the young lady, but instead she should have went and told somebody.
That
She
part.
should have went and said, let me see your phone so I can call my mom. Or let me see something, something should have been differently done. But what I don't like is the comments. Like, hold on, I'm gonna read one. I'm gonna go to my phone and read one. Read a comment that I screenshot. It's one of my friends, and she's a very, very sweet lady. I love her. We've been friends, acquaintances for a while. And I was just shocked about her comment. I don't even know if I should read it because I didn't get her permission. But I wasn't gonna say her name.
Well,
But
you're not her name. I mean, if
yeah,
it's public, then you know, other people can
right.
read.
Right,
You
it
got,
is public. It was public. I screenshot it though. Let me pull it up.
yeah.
And I understand, but I don't understand because a lot of people think like this and it scares me. She said, I'm just going to drop this here because I see people are still saying this teacher was wrong. For me, if my child has the audacity to put hands on an adult, I approve that beatdown. And I promise they will be receiving another one when I get to them. Then I'm going up to the school on the teacher's behalf to apologize and ask the school not to fire her. But that's me. Too many parents are out here wanting to be their child's friend, and y'all not equals.
I kind of agree with that one. Yeah. This is my girl, Dimples in the back. She
Hey,
said,
Dimples.
I said I kind of agree with what she said, only because it's chopstick. Thank you. Only because yes, I get it. They both were wrong. No, nobody should have put their hands on anybody. But what gave that child the idea that it was okay to walk up to that lady, which is an adult, cuss at her, and then put her hands on her? What?
Probably.
What are we supposed to
I'm
do?
sorry.
Are we supposed to, because we're adult and that's a child? Oh, let me not put my hands on her. But if the child put your hands on you, and we're not talking, these look like high school kids. She didn't put her hands on me, and I'm supposed to just stand there and let this child keep swinging on me?
No,
Or
you can protect yourself, but you don't. She jumped on top of that girl and beat the shit out of her. She
yeah,
did
but
too
from what
much.
I saw, it didn't look like the girl was swinging on her. She did what she was supposed to
The
do.
girl barely swinged on her. She's still a child. She barely had enough fighting power. If you could tell, she couldn't fight. The girl was out of her league.
On her to stop her from doing
Right.
anything.
She have a right to protect herself. She got a right to push that girl down. She got a right to put her in a position where she can have her hands behind her back. She got a right to do some defensive moves. She got a right to do that. But she lost it. To me, she lost control when she tackled that girl, jumped on top of her, and started wailing on her. At that point, the girl, she was stuck. She couldn't even fight back. She couldn't fight back. She had to scream for somebody to go get a teacher, which was too late at that point.
But that was the teacher screaming for somebody to get a teacher.
Right. She was too late for that. She should have started screaming when the girl first put her hands on her. The first altercation, she should have went and got somebody. But she went on and started exchanging blows. That's where I say she lost control. She started exchanging blows like they was on the street. Now, if they was on the street, then yeah, she could beat that girl's ass. But they're in school around other kids who probably got traumatized by this whole thing. I know I would have. I would have been traumatized. So my thing is the teacher had a right to protect herself, but she lost control. She lost control. Period.
Yeah, but you got to think about the way these kids are nowadays. These kids disrespectful as hell. They have no value whatsoever on life or anything anymore. Like these kids nowadays that's being
right. But is it their fault, or are they watching adults?
But that's the problem. It's not adults that's raising them. It's kids raising kids.
And the parent needs to be. I get what y'all saying. My issue was when she started just blah at the very end.
Right. She lost her shit like people do when they get mad and angry. They don't exercise self-control. Like I said, I'm born and raised in Detroit. I got a little bit of hood in me, but I was in the public school system. I couldn't fight those kids like that. I still held my tongue. I held my tongue. I spoke my shit. I talked my shit and got them kids to sit their ass down and behave. That might not have been the case in every situation though. And I understand that lady, that girl had a lot of moxie to go up to this lady and put her hands on her. So she deserved correction. But that was and then her underwear, that's traumatizing to me. If I had to look at a teacher's naked ass fighting another kid, that's traumatizing. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
That's where you knew she lost it, because she didn't care that her behind was out.
Yeah.
She did not care. She was like, and I feel like a lot of people are like, well, she shouldn't have wore that, this and that, and the other. Well, she didn't go to work expecting she was going to get into a fight either. You know, she just came in the sub, but I feel like
but it was a little short. Like when she sat down, how did she? I don't know. I was just trying to figure out. I'm old. I'm 52. So my teachers back in my day, they just didn't dress like that. So I was traumatized. If I was a kid, even a teenager, and I saw a teacher's ass out, that I wasn't trying to see, especially if I wasn't, coming to school to see that, I would be traumatized. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Thinking but it was necessary that the teacher defended herself. Don't get me wrong, but she lost control, and she was in a position where that one part, like you said, when she was on top of her, that's when she really should have. She really went off. She just lost it. She lost it. But yeah, these kids are, and I'm saying this because my child is in that category. He grown now, But I did the same thing when I used to pick him up from school. Them kids outside waiting on their parents, they just is disrespectful. They cursing, they getting ready to fight right in front of my car. I had to jump out my car. I'm like, look, we're not finna do this. And then they got their cameras all the time. It's a World Star. Where I said, no, we're not finna do this. Put the cameras up. Put your phones up. Because y'all want y'all parents and your grandparents and people to see this. And then y'all wonder why, you know, we so busy trying to shoot each other up. Y'all keep, we not finna do this. We not, I don't remember exactly what I said. I'm ad-libbing. But I'm like, I did say this. We not finna do this. Put your damn phones up and y'all go home.
But they're not getting any parenting. That's like when it happened downtown just recently with a little boy. He didn't care. He even sat there and aimed at the police. He did not care.
I didn't hear about all that.
Yes, downtown shootings. It was
I
like
thought it was Chicago. I heard about Chicago. I didn't know Detroit had got out of pocket. Because I don't watch the news. I don't have cable TV. I don't watch the news. I don't know what be going on.
He stabbed a little boy in the school.
Oh
Lord.
2 elementary or middle school kids.
Oh, I did hear about that. That was ridiculous.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was an elementary middle school.
Yeah. And a 14-year-old got stabbed.
Yep, the 14-year-old did get stabbed. And that's like that. I don't know why they put that on Crime in the D, where they were showing the little boy in Texas. He was just sitting there like all the cars. He got out the car. He was standing in the middle of the intersection, and cars that was going by, he was cussing at them, kicking their cars. See, that part, that's how these kids are. So I understand where Dimples is coming from. You got to mollywop these kids at a certain point because they are completely out of control.
Yeah, but you can't do it in school because they have rules. You can't,
right,
you have to catch that kid outside of school. You have to catch that kid outside of school.
You don't have to have a degree to be a teacher no more. The rules went out the window when we came from school. Once we were out of school, there's no rules in schools no more. Kids do whatever they want. Even in the elementary, they do whatever they want. They tell the teachers what they gonna do. They don't follow no direction. They do what they want. They bring what they want. There's no rules in schools no more. Half of the teachers don't even have degrees to teach kids.
I didn't have one. I was in a charter school, and it's kind of different with charter schools. You just got to have enough credits to well, I don't know if it's still the same. It depends on the charter school, because that's how I got in. I had the credits, but I didn't have a teacher's degree. You know, I didn't go to school for teaching.
But it's
I had, you know.
Yeah, that is long.
But you're right. They are lax in certain schools. Like the charter schools, I think, are the worst things that they could ever create.
Well, that was that Governor Engler and on his rigmarole, because they don't hold the schools, any college, any school out of state, they don't have to, as far as testing is concerned and the curriculum, they are self-governed.
Yeah.
That was his fault. He did that on purpose. The schools were actually going in the right direction. And then he was like, there's just milking the money. They wanted money. It was, and they say, oh, okay, well, attendance support is important the first week. And then after that, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care because they're there and they're taking schools, inner city kids and children of melanin and of color. And they just want that money. That's all they want.
And then you have to follow their curriculum. That's one of the reasons why I was like, well, I wasn't hired as a teacher. They just put me in a classroom because they were short staffed. Yep. I was hired as a enrichment coordinator, which means that I work with kids that have trouble in class. That's what, you don't have to have a degree for that, but I had to have, some education behind that. Then they just threw me in the classroom. And then they threw me in the classroom where they had, it was like 40 something kids in that class. It was 2 classrooms combined.
Wow.
They should have had about 5 teachers in that classroom, seriously, because they had 40 some kids in that classroom, and it was a 4th grade class. And we had some of the kids that had been left behind in that class too. So that's what I said, when the kids got into, it was crazy. It was crazy. And you're right. They just do it for the money. And that's when I realized, I was like, as bad as I want to be a teacher, I don't think I want to deal with these, with this school system the way it is. And then now we got, what is it? EAS? What is those schools? Because my son been graduated. He been out of school for a few years. So I don't know if it's still the same. Because they still got charter schools. They still got DPS. And they got what is it? ES? I can't even think of it.
I'm not sure about that one. But all I know is that remember at certain point, I mean, I think it was a couple of years ago, they said even they were putting the bus drivers, the janitors, the lunch ladies, they was like in the classrooms to teach the kids.
Yeah,
It was,
because they don't have enough they don't have enough qualified people, and that's sad. Like she said, I like I said, my son graduated years ago, and things was even a little different then. But I feel sorry for substitute teachers. I got a friend that's a substitute teacher, and she had the same issues with their mouth. She did with the teenagers too. Their mouth, their attitudes. We just I think parents that's capable and able should homeschool.
oh yeah. And I definitely homeschool my kid, you know. But I still also need to socialize her. She's already socialized, but you know, with this COVID thing and
Oh yeah.
pandemic, it really just put a damper.
Excuse me.
Oh,
That's my phone. Sorry about that.
oh, you're okay. It really put a damper on that, you know. But now I know they're coming up with another pandemic, but she's getting ready to go to school. You finished? Good job, baby. Good job. I love you. Thank you. Good job. High five. All right. So yeah, it's just like I'm so apprehensive about putting her in this school because you see how sweet she is, and it's just like you really got to put a kid in private school. Because in a minute,
That's why my girls are in private school.
exactly, because it's like at least you have some sort of
Certified teachers and small classroom sizes.
exactly.
Yeah, it was a school that was started here a few years ago, and I don't know why it closed up. I don't know what happened to it, but it was like the perfect setup because the only thing with drawback was it was pay you had to pay for it, you know. And
That's the thing. I pay for my kids.
yeah, you got to pay for better
It's
education.
But that's like with the black schools, you know, the African centered or the black centered schools. I've sat there and watched them close. It was 3 schools in the city of Detroit, and they were
Yep.
actually well rounded. And I watched them auditors come in literally and purposely, and it was black people, black auditors on top of that. They
Girl, it's
purposely
their own
tried to
people.
find something wrong with the school to shut it down on purpose
It be
because
our
it's
own
for
people.
money.
It be our own people.
Right, because it was a back what do you call it? Not back pay, but you know, they were getting money on the back end. You do
Right.
this, we'll do that for you. We'll give you this money. They 12. You count to 12? Good job, baby. Good job. Go count to 20 for me. Okay, good job. Good job. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I just all around think that while we have to protect ourselves from, violence, I just still think, maybe because I'm old, I just still think the teacher lost control.
she
She
lost control
she
because
lost
she
control.
felt threatened. And she felt
She
that
really she when I watched it though, Anna tried to analyze it, and she did look like she was going through this little girl's phone. And that something that triggered that little girl. She still should have never stepped into her space. Should have asked her kindly, "Can I have my phone back? You gave everybody else phone back. Can I please have mine back?" But we don't expect that from every child, especially in today's times. So that's why I
but
say I think I'm old and I'm looking at it from an older standpoint.
and
Um,
we know what could have been in that phone. She was going in that girl's phone. We don't she we don't know that she could say, "Hey, let me go call my dad." I could have called my dad back in the day and said, "Dad, they up here messing with me. Can you come get me? Can you handle it?" I was able to do that. Maybe that little girl wasn't. And maybe her mom is abusive. We don't know the situation. If her mom would have found out what was ever in her phone and whatever she was doing, her mom could have been,
yeah,
went at home, and said, "Oh, I'm gonna tear you to the white meat." You don't know what her home
right.
situation was. So I feel that the teacher, whatever led up to that situation, I feel like the teacher was definitely out of order because we don't know what you're a substitute teacher. You have not sat down with these kids long enough to find out what's really going on in their home life. So whatever it was, you should have just sat there, subbed, and did what you had to do and kept it moving. because that's what you are, a substitute teacher. Now, if you're there every day, then that's a different story. Then you can kind of gather and say, okay, what's going on in the home life? You can do a visual observation. I can't even say the word, but you can do an observation and gather what's going on at home. But you don't know what that girl was scared of at home. And maybe she felt that in her mind as a kid, if my mom finds out or my dad finds out, whoever her caretaker is, they're going to meet me to the white meat. I'm going to get in trouble for it. And she took that risk, and hit that teacher. We don't know the full backstory of it. We're just analyzing just
a few seconds of a clip that we didn't see the beginning of.
Right.
But I do know this. These kids are so connected to these devices. That's one thing that will trigger anybody. You take a phone from these kids, man, they having a fit. That's the way that's one way I used to punish my son. I realized I can't whip him no more. That don't matter. I said, but let me take his phone. Oh my God, that's like killing them. They feel like they did.
I do the same with my little ones. Like I take that like, give me the tablet. No tablet tonight. They have a whole meltdown.
Okay.
Yep. That's one of the best ways to discipline a child is to take their phone. But it's even crazier now. You can't even do that. Remember the little boy? The mama said she took his virtual reality stuff away and he killed her.
Yep.
Damn.
Wait, what? Hold on.
The little boy wanted a virtual reality. Either he wanted one or he had one. And the mother said no virtual reality, glasses or whatever. And he killed her. Yep, he killed her.
Oh no, see, that's just too much. That's just too much. What happened to going outside and playing? My God.
These kids don't know.
It's in the past. It's a thing of the past. Like I said, I feel so old compared to this generation because we didn't have cell phones. We have video. Well, we have video games, but we didn't stay in the house playing video games all day. We played a little bit and we went outside because we didn't go online. See, that makes the difference. Because now they get to go online and play these games.
Yeah.
We didn't have none of that. We ain't had an internet. We ain't had a video games. We was outside from sun up to sundown. In fact, we used to play a game to see who could get outside the quickest. We used to be outside at 7:00 trying to play. Oh, we was first. Y'all late. Y'all late.
Yeah, I remember that. And we had to come back inside when them street lights came on. We was like, dang. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And we would play and play and play all day long. And we didn't have to worry about somebody coming to snatch us.
No.
None of that. So we can't even go. And it's almost like a catch-22. It's like, okay, because remember our parents used to leave us outside. They come check on us, make sure we still outside. Okay, we're going over such and such house. All right, just make sure. Don't go past this block. Don't do this.
But all the neighbors was watching the kids.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now
I did the same thing with my son, and I saw the changes even happen when he was growing up. For me sitting outside, I was the only one watching the kids. The other parents was getting high or somewhere. I was the one keeping them screaming down the street, get that baby out the street. And to the point where the neighbors started calling me the woman that be yelling. Yeah, that lady that be down the street yelling, because I was always yelling and fussing. I was the one out in the morning
about to get hit by a car.
Right. There was a little baby walking in the street, and another little bigger baby was going out to get her. It was a baby that just learned how to walk, and a 3-year-old going out to the street to get her.
That doesn't make no sense. It's
unbelievable.
It's kids raising kids nowadays.
And they too busy online, not worrying about their kids. Like, how many times do we have to hear about, oh yeah, the baby was picked up and at the police station? That's ridiculous.
I couldn't believe it. I was definitely one of those parents that was. I had the kid house because in the summertime they just running. I went and bought arts and crafts and stuff. They were on my porch, gluing stuff, doing nails and all kind of stuff because I was the only one.
Yeah,
I was the only one,
and that's why my friends who have children, they're good moms, they're great moms, and we keep our kids together. Because you can't just even going to the park. Like I took my daughter to the park. We met another friend, another parent, or whatever, and we got play dates coming up. But it's just to the point you got to keep an eye on that kid. You got to roll with them the whole through the. You can't just sit down. Yeah. Because you got all these. It's just too much going on in the world. It's too crazy.
Right. I've been working with kids since I was a kid myself, and I thought that I wanted to grow up and be a teacher and stuff. And only reason why I changed my mind wasn't because kids was bad, was because I realized they weren't getting paid shit.
No, but
And I was like,
also,
I don't want to be a teacher. They ain't paying enough money for me.
they're not paying. The best thing to do would be a professor at a university, a adjunct teacher at a professor
Yeah.
at a university. But it's the thing is, it's sad, and like going back to what we were all saying, these children are terrible because it's parents. You know, the parents are teenagers. The parents
Yeah.
are babies.
Yeah.
And how you gonna go clubbing with your kid? How you twerking with your grandma?
And
Hold
see,
on,
that's crazy. That's
I
crazy
mean, it's
because
serious. Like your grandma, you a grandma at 32. That it's
yes,
like that used to be unheard of. What happened to Big Mama?
girl,
Ain't no Big Mama.
I had a student.
55, living her best life.
Okay, glam mom.
I had a student that I couldn't believe. I had a student. She was telling me about her brother. She said, "I'm gonna be an auntie." Now she was like in the 3rd grade, I think, and she had a sister that was in the 1st grade. She said, "I'm gonna be an auntie." So I'm thinking she got an older brother that was like, you know, almost grown or either grown. I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "How you gonna be?" She said, "My brother." I said, "Your brother?" I said, "The one that came up, that be coming up here to pick you up." She was like, "Yeah, his girlfriend pregnant." I said, "But he a baby." She said, "I said, how old is that?" He 15. I said, "He 15. And you about to be." And she was so happy. But then we still talking. I said, "Man, how your mama feel?" You know, the mama was just a few years older than me at that time. The mama was like 29.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. The mama
So
was
she
like
about to
20.
be a
The
grandma
boy,
at
the oldest son
29?
was 15. So I mean, her mama was like 12 years old when she had him.
Oh my
Something like
God.
that. Then she said, "Guess how old my grandmama is?" I said, "Girl, how old is your grandmama?" She said, her grandmama was in the 30s.
Oh my God.
I said, wait a minute. I said, "I don't even know how old your great grandmama is." I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we don't have big mamas no more.
No, big mamas is in their 30s and 40s now.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
And I was late having mine. I was in my late 20s when I had my child. I only got one.
Talk about how late I am. I'm 46 years old with a 4-year-old. Okay.
Oh wow. Well, you know, you still under 50, so you made it. You made it. Barely, but you made it.
I know, right? Barely. Hold on, but Big Mama will be back in my house. I know that. I may be 90.
Right. Because I'll be complaining about these kids, and I'm like, man, wait a minute, these are kids. Let me shut up. These are kids. These are kids is out here wilding out.
See, because I'm gonna be the one with the belt. What'd you say? Because these children need butt whoopings, like belt whoopings.
I don't even know if that's really sufficient enough anymore. Because a lot of people get their ass beat and they still be criminals.
Did you hear what she said?
What she said?
She said it's not. They need jail time.
They need something different. We need to reprogram them and totally re-educate them, because even we've been beating our kids.
Where I want my life to be.
And we've been beating our kids since slavery, and they still bad. We still beat the shit out of kids, and they still don't know how to act. So I don't even know if that's an effective method anymore. You know, and when I was working in the early childhood field, we couldn't discipline the kids other than, you know, like timeouts and stuff like that. But then right before I left and retired, they were like changing that order, saying, you know, no more timeouts, because that gives a child, makes them feel isolated and all this other stuff. So they started introducing a new method called redirection. And I'm like, redirect. We couldn't even get, bad enough we couldn't spank their hands, but we couldn't even do the timeouts anymore. So what we had to do was redirect them. So you got a 2-year-old that's got those big ass wooden blocks about to beat the shit out of another kid. You can't say, "Stop, time out." You can't do that. You have to say, "You know what, Johnny, we don't hit our friends with the blocks. You want to hit something? Here's the drum. Beat this drum. You can hit this drum, Johnny, but we don't hit our friends." I mean, it was ridiculous, but it worked. I was shocked. I was mad. I went to the staff meeting. I'm like, "We can't do timeout. What are we gonna do when so-and-so be trying to bite somebody? What are we gonna do when so-and-so hits?" It was like, we got to redirect their behavior. and stop them before they do it, and then give them something else to do. And it, for them kids at that age, it really worked. It
Yeah.
worked.
It just is. It's to the, like, I don't recall my 2-year-old like wanting to beat her friends or like bite other kids. Now she got hit. If they did try to hit her or take something from her, she was gonna hit them back. Because I remember her cousin used to pick on her because, you know, her cousin was by herself for a minute, and then my daughter came along, and so she tried to sneak and hit her. And finally, my child got to the point like, oh, okay, you want to hit me? I'm gonna mop you back. You know,
Oh, wow.
she did, and she left her alone. Like, okay, she hits back. Never mind. I'm not gonna mess with her no more. I figured it out. They figured it out, but they were cousins, you know. But at the end of the day, I don't know. She just didn't go and hit other kids, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, it depends on the parenting, you know,
Yep.
what's going on at home. And
It's tricky. It's tricky when you're raising kids because you don't want them to not defend themselves and be, you know, beat up on by bullies, but you don't want them to be fighting either. It's just kind of tricky because I had to tell my son, like, you can defend yourself, but don't be fighting for no reason. Don't be doing no stupid shit. You know, it's kind of,
that part.
it's hard.
Because I know the few fights that I got into, you know, I had to call my dad, like, okay, come get me. You know, the police is up here. He was like, did you whoop her ass? I'm like, yep, so did. You know, and I ain't going to sit here and lie. I'm going to do the same thing with my kid. Like,
but it's harder to do that now with kids because nowadays they can't just take an ass whooping and keep moving. They want to come back and kill you after you whip their ass.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part.
And then bullying is I won't say it's out of control. It's no different than when I was coming. I was bullied. I was physically bullied. I was pushed. I had my hair pulled, my bra strap snapped, tripped, walking past. I was bullied. I was bullied because I was light skinned, and they said because I was smart and I sounded white, like a white girl. I had to change my whole. Oh, that was my mama. I had to change my. Hold on one second. My mama calling me.
Okay, no problem.
Hello. Hello. Okay. All right. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
So yeah, I was bullied, and the way I handled it, I asked my mama, "Can I fight?" My mama said, "No, you better tell an adult," because my mother was a fighter. She didn't want us fighting. My mother was the one that all her brothers and sisters went to when they got into it. She was the one that chased people down and beat their ass growing up. So she didn't want us fighting. She was definitely like, no, you can't fight. You can't fight. You can't fight. I'm telling you, if my mama would have gave me permission, I would have been fighting my ass off. But I was scared of my mama. I was more scared of her than I was the kids in the street.
See, and that's the thing. I think. Okay, thank you, baby. Thank you.
Oh, she sounds so cute.
Thank you. Yeah. So what it was is that my mama, she didn't want me. Okay, I'm gonna do the orange one. My mama didn't want me fighting, but I think what it is too, these kids may not be afraid of their parents either.
Yeah, they're not for whatever reason. I don't know what happened. Why
kids had kids and they want to be friends. Oh, I'm going out with my mama tonight. We about to go party and all that extra stuff. They are ratchet, they are ghetto, and not ghetto because of a financial standpoint, but for the mentality standpoint.
Right.
It's not cute. It's like, I'm gonna tell you something, and it's portrayed on television, the television program. I've been around the world. I'm gonna tell you something. When I was in Japan, and this was in 2006, I sat there and I did not understand a word that they were saying, but I was at the club and we were doing a performance and whatnot, and I watched them. They love Black culture. They love anything to be Black. In Detroit, Detroit is the spot for them. Everything Detroit is the top of the line. Any other country does not exist. It is Detroit. It's all about Detroit. So let me tell you something. But yes, because they had the scene playing in the club. We was at the Yellow Cab. They had the scene playing. I was like, the scene. Yes, girl.
What was your you were a singer or
no, I was traveling with my best friend. I was traveling doing his tour thing. But it was wild because everything that they did was Black. They love Black. You go on
yeah.
when you everything in the music, in the on the
They about to take over. They about to take over the hip hop. They about to take over the gospel. I was looking at some Chinese gospel choirs. I'm like, man, we don't even have choirs no more in Detroit. We got praise teams.
They can emulate us to the T. They kept coming up to us. We look like you. We look like you. See? But my whole point was, thank you, baby. The whole point was, I was sitting there watching them. It was a girl, and she was intoxicated. Oh, primary colors, very good. Okay. They were getting ready to get in the cab, and you could tell their demeanor. They were trying to be black. They've gotten away from their culture because they've delved so deep into the black culture, and so it was a negative connotation. What I mean was the girls were actually trying to act ratchet. And I said, wow.
Really?
Yes, the girls, this was in 2006 though. So I don't know. I haven't been back yet. But they were, they had this, the ratchetness, and that's what has been betrayed on television. And remember in 2006, you had the Real Housewives. You had I was
basketball. That's one of my guilty sins. My little guilty sins. Housewives of Atlanta.
They consider it hip hop. You gotta use the bathroom. Go use the bathroom. She's like, yeah, I gotta use the bathroom. So it's around that corner. But they consider like, okay, it being hip hop, and they're like they feel like they're emulating, and we keep allowing these black portrayals of ourselves on television. This is not who we are. We've lost, once we lose the woman, the black woman, that's it. And they have torn the black woman down. That's why these children act the way that they do. That's why we don't even have a sense of ourselves, and we think it's okay. Then you got these unmelanated chicks like, yeah, I'm black too. No, you're not. It's not how you talk.
Preach.
That okay? Because first of all, you will never be me. You will never be melanated. You will never step in my shoes, and you will never be and have the crown that I have. So let me get that to you straight.
You talking about that picky girl?
Never have our essence ever. I don't care if you sit in that sun. Because when I was going to school, I used to have the unmelanated come to me. Oh, I'm dark like you. I said, you don't possess the skin color like I do. You don't have the melanin in my skin, because I share that with the universe and the plants. Get it corrected. You're going to end up looking like a rubber, though, that Goodyear tire out there. That's what you're going to be. And you're going to be in the waste. I'm not. I can get dark, and it doesn't matter. My skin is going to flourish. Yours is going to be like rubber. You can sit in that fake sunlight if you want to. You can sit in that fake light if you want to, but you're not of this earth in this universe, and you're not in tune with it.
Right.
That's why they changed the frequency.
They got just enough melanin.
In the 1940s.
Andre? Yeah. Oh, Mama said, go pick. She ready. Oh. But I need to. I'll talk to you when you get back.
That's why I'll go off for a little bit.
Are you stopping by when you get back, or?
No.
Oh, she had to use it. She's still ain't age yet.
I need to get that bleach and some garbage bags. So I was gonna see if y'all could get that. I had to send you the money.
Girl, don't they eat like crazy? And my hair did grow a lot. Good Lord.
Well, just let me know, because we need to. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh,
but them Asian people, they're master. I call them master duplicators, because they can duplicate anything. Anything.
I've watched them do
master duplicators.
Look, I was in Osaka.
They're smart.
They don't learn how to make afros with their natural hair.
Yes, they have machines
with a sponge.
Yes, I've seen it. Look,
all you gotta do is back comb. That's what makes them
back comb. But look, we were the original people over there in the first place was the melanated people.
Yeah,
that's like Australia.
And they know that. The ones that they don't show on TV are the ones that they know the truth. Because the ones they show on TV, they all try to act white, but you're or whatever. But the ones that's the ones that emulating us, they know. They know. The Japanese doctor said that they've isolated. They know where their origins are. Their origins came from, they say Africans, but that their origins came from, melanated
all over the world.
All over the world. All over the world.
It was all over the world.
I heard, Dr. York said, and I didn't understand it because I hadn't studied what he studied about melanin and everything, that they neutralized their melanin. And I thought that purposely did. I mean, I thought that they neutralized it meant that over the years they just got whitewashed. But no, they literally they started breeding a certain way to contain the whiteness instead of the darkness. That's the crazy part.
Yes.
Because you can't survive. They got just enough melanin to survive the UV rays now, but the sun is heating up. Is the UV rays is getting more prominent, more stronger.
Right, and then that's why they trying to take the sun. What is it? Gates. He's trying to control the sun and block it out. Come on now.
Yeah, they trying to yeah, they call it cloud seeding. That's what they call it. To avoid us saying chemtrails. They don't want to say chemtrails. So they say, oh, they're cloud seeding, they're creating clouds for the purposes of no, you ain't supposed to be creating nothing.
Did you see that video? Did you see that video? I think I sent it to you where the guy was sitting there. He was like, yeah, I'm at this plant and we over here in the back creating clouds. I was like, how do you get that job?
Oh, no, I didn't see that video.
Job? If I haven't sent it to you, I'll send it to you because that's the stuff that I'll be sending people. I'll be like, he's literally in the back and you just see clouds just coming up.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years. I couldn't tell you when they started, but I know they've been doing it before I was born. I was born.
What is it called?
I call it chemtrails, but they call it cloud seeding, meaning that
it was something else though. She got the camera up there, but come on down. It was something else though. They call it. I cannot remember what it's called. It's a platform that they use.
Not why they not home when they come home.
I forgot what it's called, but it's like 3 initials. It's an acronym, but where they control the weather. Because I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. You talking about HAARP?
Yup, there it is. HAARP.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm talking about. Like the weatherman. First of all, how you know what the weather's gonna be like? If you don't know,
they only can predict what they control.
That part. Thank you. I'm like, what you predicting today?
That was the whole purpose for having the Doppler radars and all that shit was so they can create fake weather.
Exactly.
And monitor it.
Snowed and had a blizzard in California. Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I saw that shit. When I saw that people were shoveling snow off their roof, I'm like, hell no, California, Northern California, they're shoveling snow off their roof.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like when I used to go to California,
it don't snow that much.
It don't snow like that. Because the temperature, the sun will wake you up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You be like, dang, it's hot. It's time to get up. It's 90, 100 degrees. By the time the nighttime comes, you done change into spring outfit, fall outfit, possibly winter. Mama. Yes, baby.
People gotta remember, Cali is not warm. People think California is warm, but Cali get cold at night.
It's super cold at night. You need sweaters, gloves.
I've never been to Cali.
It's beautiful, but it's cold.
Now you go over to Vegas, just one state over.
Baby.
It's hot but that's because that's the desert. But it's hot all don't matter what time of night, day.
Right.
It's dry heat. It'll be because I was there 15 degrees. I was like, oh, this ain't straight. They was like, it's hot out here. I was like, first of all, this ain't Michigan, okay? This ain't hot. This is just dry.
Dry heat. I could deal with dry heat more than I could the humidity because that's the shit that take your breath away.
Because I know when I went to Florida, I was like, oh no, I ain't coming in this season. It's rainy and I got a poncho on. The plastic's melting to my skin because we went to Disney World. I was like, no, we're not doing this again. We're going October.
Yeah, I was thinking about moving to Florida. I've been trying to move to Florida for about 10 years now.
Oh yeah, that's true. The hurricane season, girl, it's too much hurricane in there. Them houses.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm looking at Jacksonville, and I know Jacksonville ain't the place people be quick to move to, but it's closer to the land. We got some land in Georgia, in Elko, Georgia, which is about 45 minutes from Jacksonville. So that's why I'm looking at Jacksonville.
Yeah, Atlanta, like on the outside, because Detroit has ruined Atlanta. All you need is 75. That was a long time ago. But at the end of the day, you can go on the outskirts of Atlanta and it'll be straight. You got Savannah, even though that's a bit racist, but hey.
Yeah.
But what the spot what was that city where we said give us our land and the original people are living there? You know what I'm talking about?
The one with I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta look into that because there is an original tribe that's been there for about 200 years. They said, "Give us our land, goodbye, get out."
I think I heard something about that, but the land we got has been in our family for about almost 100 years, if not a little longer.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know, I might be over exaggerating. Might not have been quite 100 years yet, because it was my mother's grandparents that bought the land, so maybe not quite, but almost 100 years.
yeah.
Almost
That's the
almost
part.
100 years, and it's in an unincorporated town called Elko. It became an unincorporated town back in the 60s, so it haven't been incorporated in since I've been alive. That's how long but it's still people still live there. They got a small population. I think they had like 2,500 people that stay in the area, but it's mostly just like land,
Because I'm trying to come off the grid. That's the best thing to do.
That's what I've been thinking about. I've been trying to, my aunt, she's the executor. She's the last living one in her generation that's executor, because then it goes to my mom and them after she passed away. My mama don't want to have nothing to do with it. And me and my sister, like, that's some land we ain't never did nothing on since my granddaddy. My granddaddy was farming on it until he died 10 years ago. And well, it's been a little bit more than 10 years, and ain't nobody did nothing with it since. And it is some people on the land. They sharecropping. So we do have it's worth checking into. I told my sister, I said it's gonna be up to us, because the rest of the family that's still alive, they don't want shit to do with that land. And it's been down there basically, unoccupied on parts of it that's not being sharecropped on. And the sharecrop money we ain't even getting. So
you go down there, girl, and live off the grid, because that's gonna be the next move.
I know, and I've never been to that part. I've been to Georgia. I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Marietta, I've been to a couple of other small towns in Georgia, Lithonia. I just never been to that part of Georgia, because it's only one person that's alive that knows exactly where the land is. Everybody else that know where it is dead.
Well, that's the problem. We see that's where we lose our wealth at as Black people. We got land. You can go off the grid. You can have your own electricity, your own water. You ain't got to be bothered.
It's already got running water. Doc, I said it's a family that's down. It's a white family, and they've been sharecropping just as long as I've been alive, if not longer.
Rent. That's how they get our stuff. See,
and their family is the ones that's in charge now of the land. They our age now, so it's in that generation. They're the ones that got the sharecropping or what. And like I said, the money that they pull from sharecropping is not really worth it. But we're not getting it because my own people, the other side of the family, whose land is not, but whose name is not on it, are the ones that's getting the sharecrop money. That land that we got is in my grandfather's land. It was given to him by his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then his brother got another part of the land too. On the other side, nobody's doing it. And so they're not doing anything with their father's part of my great uncle's land. They're trying to get the sharecropping money from my grandfather's land. So that's been a problem. And my aunt, who is my grandfather's sister, she's the executor. She said she's too old to fight to get that money. She said it ain't that much money, but I'm too old to be trying to get a lawyer to get that land back, because they went down there to them people and told them people that it was their daddy's land. And they lied. It wasn't their father's land. It was our grandfather's land. But their father got land on the other. It's a lot of land down there. What I'm saying is it's a lot of land. And if I could get both of the lands, because ain't nobody doing nothing with the other land. My aunt gets phone calls from the other land because it's people that want it for timber. They go down there, they want the timber because it's ain't shit down there but a bunch of timber, bunch of trees and a bunch of wood and timber. And she gets a little bit residual from that, but it's a bunch of land down there that's really not being doing. It's really not, it's just open.
You need about 10 people to go down there. We all get this land and we all go live off the grid.
I'm all for that. I've been looking, girl. I've been looking at modular builds, prefab homes, and shit like that. I've been looking to all of that. I don't have the money to really.
Did you hear her? She said you could buy a whole house from Home Depot for $12,000 and call it a day.
You right about that? They got sheds.
Yeah.
At the $25,000 sheds. Shit.
They got the tiny houses too. You got to know somebody to put it together.
Look, we have a
That's
whole
the whole
community.
point. Just need some money and some you know, because
Some
I'm
people.
gonna have to get the paperwork done and have those because my sister was like, we just put the sharecroppers off. I said, you kick them off the land, they've been on there forever. She was like, so what? That's my land, they gotta go. I was like, well, I guess so. I
Yeah.
guess so.
For food, you can barter. Go back to the barter system, because you know the coin, the currency, and all that stuff is going in the trash anyways. And they
Right.
knew they was gonna do this. I
Oh,
knew
we
that back
finally
in
got one
95.
viewer after all this time we've been talking. Listen, y'all, whoever viewing, I appreciate you for tuning in. We've been talking about everything since we started. We've been talking about the Asian people, the Asian persuasion. We talked about having kids at a late age, and well, we think it's late, but as long as you still dropping eggs every month, it ain't never too late.
Yeah.
It ain't never too late. But yeah,
Man.
this generation is and I could assume that the previous generation before mine said the same thing about us. They probably, especially when rap music came out, they probably was like, oh, they listening to all this boogity music and they cussing and they shaking their tails and they probably talked all kinds.
Underground, no, that was our underground. We still had a message.
Till now.
Till
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Look,
Because
the Freaknik,
before
I heard about that. I didn't go to that.
I hear that it's people, the women that is featured on it, they trying to put together a settlement to sue. So Hulu and I think Netflix or whatever is airing on won't
with
hear
the Freaknik stuff,
Yeah.
they need to just enjoy it and just say, oh, we was young and stupid back then. Fuck all that. It happened.
You just have to suck some
It happened.
But
It
wait,
happened. But
what
I
about
didn't get
Girls
caught
Gone
up in it.
Wild?
Right, you had that too.
Made tapes of it a long time
Girls
ago.
Gone Wild and all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, they shouldn't even. I mean, they probably did some, stuff on camera. A little strange for some change on camera, but it happened. I don't know why they just trying to just let people laugh and say, yeah, we was wilding out back then. Let the young people know that our older generation did stupid shit too.
And how about it was done before you thought of it? Was just Freaknik back then. Now you got fans only and
Right. See,
Backpage.
See, we didn't have no internet. So as far as
we had Black Planet.
Right. The farthest your shit that was in somebody's garage or basement looking at some clips. That's as far as we went.
Man.
Now the whole world get to see your fans only page.
Okay.
Right. Y'all selling behind.
For free.
Look, and then on top of that, you had Black Planet or Backpage.
Oh gosh, I remember back. What was the other Moco Space and
MySpace?
Oh yeah, Moco Space.
And I didn't get a chance to get involved with none of it, but I know all about it. I've been curious. I was gonna join Moco Space. I remember I was about to join Moco Space, and I decided not to. I said no, because I was a part of Black Planet, and
yeah, Black Planet was fun though.
It
was. In there.
It was. I met a couple guys off Black Planet. I met some guys off Black Planet, but what was that other one? It didn't start off as a tag. It didn't start out as a dating site. It started as a gaming site. And that's what I used to be on that shit was crazy. I met a few people off Tag, but I wasn't trying to.
I didn't hear about Tag. I think I was stuck on Black Planet. I'd be like, because that's when I was in college, and I'd be like, let me go shoot some shit real quick. Let me go talk some shit real quick. Let's see what people talking about.
Black Planet, that was all right. Is it still a thing?
It probably is, but probably just don't nobody use it. People that probably
because Facebook and all that took over, Twitter and all that.
Facebook, but see, Facebook used to be let me catch up with friends because
Facebook was for college only, and then they opened it
right.
up.
And then there's been something else. I mean, it's a dating sites on Facebook now.
Yeah.
I was like, this is too. But see, that's where we got in the way. Technology is taking over so much. You so lazy to the point now. People are so comfortable. It's like that movie with Bruce Willis in it. What was this? It starts with an S. Surrogate, where people are so far out of reality. Like when Sims came out, and that's basically what it was. It's a movie about Sims. And basically saying, okay, you can just live this alternate reality and you not be who you really are. And that is such a good movie. People
That
don't
must
understand.
have been a movie I saw because I've been trying to figure out this movie. It was just on. I was living out in Redford and I was watching my TV and it was a movie on, and it was these people who literally lived in their home, but they had these robots
Yeah.
that would go and shop for them and
Go to
take
work.
care of their business. Right, and then when they I can't remember who it, because I didn't see it from the beginning. I saw like the last few minutes of it when.
Girl.
They shut the computers and stuff down, and people was going back outside, and the sunlight was burning their eyes because they hadn't seen real sunlight in a while. It was crazy. And I wonder if that was the name of that movie because I didn't never find out.
It was Surrogate.
I'm gonna watch that. Oh, I'm gonna watch that.
Yes, girl, that is my movie. I tell people all the time. And then we're a part of the movie where they think they're on the side of, against technology. You gonna come to find out they even fooling over there too.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, it's kind of like the Wiz mixed up with, the Matrix type thing, but it's in the Sims all mixed into one. But it's a good movie, and it's telling of what's really going on right now.
Right. I didn't get into the Sims that much. I played a little bit of it, but I did experience that meta world because I was part of
right there.
Sorority House, Farmville.
I like Farmville. I ain't gonna lie.
I was in love with Farmville. That's why I joined Tag. I was playing that Farmville and Sorority House, Mafia Wars. So Meta been out before Facebook. That's what I was telling you. I was like, people was like, oh, we finna go through. I said, yeah, we did. Remember Sims? That was like the first, reality interactive game that people was connected to before when the internet was still new.
Right. And the Sims, I never really got into it because I thought something in my spirit, I thought something was wrong with it. I said, why are we pretending to be somebody else? Why are we pretending to be, making up these people? And if I'm not mistaken, the Sims has gotten to the point where they're violent now. It's just like, okay.
I started it. I was in the early stages. I was playing it, and then by that time I had my son and I was busy raising him, and I just kind of fell off of it. So it was weird. But yeah, I think we have to really be talking about this great reset. I think the great reset is going to involve us with resetting this educational system because it's all wrong. No matter how we look at it, the school system from its inception was all wrong.
Well, they set it up so for you to prepare you to go to jail anyways.
Right. They set us up to fail.
Mm-hmm.
They set us up to fail. They try to pump you with, oh, you can be anything you want to be when you grow up. Yet all of those things is always going to contribute to the capitalistic, way we live now. You get a job just so you can basically preparing you for slavery, and like you said, jail.
Yeah,
we nothing but slaves. We turned into change the name to employees.
Yeah, you're teaching them to go to school at a certain time every single day. You're teaching them this is what you need to do. You have to do it this way. If you don't, you suffer the consequences. You graded on it. I mean, it's just it's so structural to the point where it's just you become another, like you said, another employee. You become an employee.
And it's going to get to the point where we're becoming drones now instead of just regular employees because everything is done on a computer. You don't even have to go in to sit in the office anymore. You can stay at home and I order my groceries online. Ain't that crazy?
No.
Instacart,
that ain't crazy because I order my groceries all the time.
Yeah, let me finish my Target order. Hold on 1 second.
Right.
I ain't playing.
They said that too. They said the future ain't gonna be nothing but a bunch of trucks with boxes going back and forth, and that's it.
Look, I work at the post office, so that tells you something.
Oh my goodness.
Boxes at the box. Peak season is just ridiculous. I'm like,
wow.
I order my groceries and have it delivered right to my door.
Okay.
Right. Or I'll order it and have them already so my son can go pick them up. Because if I don't feel like paying, I'm like, go pick it up.
have it delivered to the door.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting mine. I thought that was so crazy. Like the first time I did it, I was like, and they got everything.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is nothing. Wow.
And here's the thing too, like the reason why I did it is because my daughter was born in August, and wintertime I didn't want her, as a newborn. I was like, okay, well, I got to drive to go to the store anyways. So instead of her going in the store, in the car, then taking her out the car, putting her back in the car, taking her out, we're going to stay in the car where it's warm. You bring the stuff to me. Yeah. And that's how I got addicted to it. That's how I got stuck to it.
During COVID, because that's how it was anyway. And I just
wow.
My door. I'll go pick it up.
Yeah. So
I was when we had the COVID thing and we was on lockdown, and I was like, because I smoke marijuana, and I was like, I hope my weed guy can still come out. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? I should give me a drone during this time and start delivering weeds for the people that don't want to come out because they think they're gonna catch COVID. I was like, I need to give me a drone.
They funny with that.
Huh?
I said they funny with that because I still see people sitting with a mask on in the car by themselves with the windows rolled up. I was like, you're killing yourself and you're getting yourself sick, right?
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I was so against the mask. I was so against the mask until I went to the hospital to emergency. And they make you wear a mask anyway when you go to the hospitals anyway. When I went in and I seen all them people coughing and gagging, I said, you know what? Give me 2 masks.
I'll put one on, but other than that, I don't.
Look,
I didn't either until, like I said, until I went to the hospital. I said, you know what? Give me 2, please. Because I
can understand that, because I know when I worked in Troy back in 2016, 2017, girl, I put on a mask because these people was going outside. They was afraid of the sun. They had it on extra cold in the building, like extra cold, because I was like, y'all don't like sun? I had to go outside to stand in the sun so I could warm up. They was like, oh, we don't like the sun. I'm like, y'all romanticize vampires anyways. Y'all eat, look, because you eat meat raw. You don't like the sun. Okay. So yeah, and they love garlic. So with that,
and they don't like seasoning. No, let me stop.
They don't like seasoning for nothing, girl. I'm like, well, you wasn't looking for no seasonings, okay? You was looking for something else.
Right.
So, but yeah, I used to, when I worked in Troy, they would be in there hacking, smoking 18 packs of cigarettes. I'd be on the phone with the client. They be like, what's wrong with that person? I'm like, they are way across the other part of the building. They would be smoking so much. And I'm just like, I'm sick of this. I used to put masks on because I'm like, y'all nasty. And then don't potluck, because only 4 or 5 melanated people were in there. We'd be in the kitchen washing our hands. Everybody's like, what y'all doing? Washing our hands. We be like, we'll just take the stuff that's bagged up, like not open yet. We'll take them chips and that dip right there. I made some such and such. No,
I'm
you
straight.
walk across your stoves and you touch the dogs and with your hands and then get back to cooking. No, that's okay.
Right, I'm straight. Y'all let the cat lick the bowl and everything.
Right. No, I'll be like, I'm good. And then we wondering why y'all sick. Y'all good. Y'all can deal with that. No, thank you. I'm good.
And I hate to stay on this topic because it just reminded me of, I watched this A&E series called Hoarders. Oh my God.
Oh,
it'd be a couple black ones on it, but the majority of them be, Caucasian.
Yeah.
I can't even, I think they're made in their DNA a certain way to handle all that. I can't see how they can live in feces of dogs, cats, rats, and anything. I'm like, yeah, and they breathe in this, and it's like the helpers come in and clean up. They just be so calm and casual, just shoveling bunches of shit off the floor. And I'm like, I couldn't even. They must be made to handle sewer shit. I mean,
but I
hope I'm not sounding racist or nothing, but I'm only going by the fact that most of the hoarders that I see are Caucasian. And the living conditions are, man, I don't even know how they live. They should have been dead.
The roses when you get married, that was so the bride didn't stink on her wedding day. That's what the flowers was for.
Right. I remember reading about those. Somebody did a video about the things we don't know the origins of.
Yeah.
They would
But
only take a
they
bath like once a year.
yeah, if they was lucky. But then remember, they didn't have a plumbing system. They had feces and urine in the streets. That's what they live. The Africans is the ones that showed them what 99% alcohol was. They was like, here, you need
Right.
sanitizer.
And they said the Moors were the ones, because the Moors was the ones that really interacted with them and was fucking them too, them nasty. Anyway, they said the Moors was the ones that showed them how to bathe and shower and all of that. But they gotta be, and this is why and I'm not saying this to be racist, because you even have white people that they gotta be made to handle those types of conditions. And hence the reason why we get infected by shit is because we don't have an immunity for smallpox and all that kind of shit.
It's the same thing with alcohol. What is their warfare is through viruses. It's to get people sick over here, and you got the natives sick. And when I say natives, I'm not gonna say Indians, because they changed the word on purpose so we cannot get our land back. That's why I'm on your head about the land. That's another topic. But that best way to kill a community or a nation is by biological, and they can carry that stuff and be okay with it. Didn't they not purposely infect all of us? They infected us with syphilis to see what would happen. They sat there and they the smallpox, baby pox, chicken pox, every type of
pox, and it's still going on. That's why all this stuff is from. It's for to get us up out of here,
right? Because
they can't be just.
They are a virus.
Humanoids. I think they're aliens. I think a lot of them are alien. I think. Let me shut up. That's something that's gonna go a whole way.
They are, because they don't. Okay, remember what I said earlier. Remember they changed the frequency of the Earth, and the standard of the frequency from 400. What was it? 432 hertz or something like that.
Yeah.
Frequency back in the 1940s. Because remember, they do not have any type of rhythm.
No.
You have in tune. They don't have any melanin. Plants even have melanin.
They just got enough. What they call it? They got enough of because they 6 ether beings. They got enough of it to survive this planet. They got enough, but they don't have neuromelanin, which is what people of color, naturally have. And then neuromelanin is 9 ether. So in the Bible, when they talk about the mark of the beast is 666, and you got black people saying, "Oh, they calling us beasts because we got carbon." I said, no, the mark of the beast is 6 ether, because they don't have the melanin we have. We are 9 ethers. Ours is 999.
Right.
Theirs is 666. They're the opposite.
Thank you. And here's
the mountains, not us.
Exactly, the Caucasus Mountains.
Right. But the thing is, before the white man, wherever they come from, in the Caucasus Mountains was created by the Khoisan people, the Khoikhoi people.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that lived in the mountains before the white man did. And the reason was because this planet went through changes. We had nuclear fallouts. We had plasma beams shot down in this motherfucker thousands and millions of years before we even came into this existence. So where did people go when we was having all these cataclysmic events? They went to the mountains, or they went underground. They either went high or they went low.
That's why the scientists is digging up underground tombs and whole underground worlds that people be like, where did this stuff come from? That was buried 400,000 years ago.
Yep. Exactly. Still intact.
Yep. The whole city of Atlantis is still intact underwater.
Yep, underwater.
They flooded this day. It's crazy though. I could talk about this stuff for days, but I know we done got all the way off topic. But this is nice, because I haven't been on my podcast in months. And the reason being was because, and this is no whole nother reason, but the reason being was because I have been really sick. And I just haven't been going live and all of that. And I haven't been telling people about that either. I haven't broadcasting the fact that I've been sick as hell and having all kind of issues. And I'm just now getting my physical therapy and stuff taken care of, and been in a wheelchair for the past year. It's been crazy. And I haven't even been really saying it. I want to, because I want to try to share my story with people. I do have a documentary that's out that only probably about 3 people saw. Because it's all connected to what's been going on, what they've been doing to us, to our people, what's, and it's gonna get worse. It's going to get fucking worse.
Always get worse before it get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finna have them 7 years of tribulation. It's about to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's about to be crazy. And that's the crazy part, because as much as I talk about and try to expose religion and everything, that's always been, Book of Revelation has always been the only book in the Bible that I actually ever paid attention to. That's the book that I was in love with. So much so, I used to follow this one minister called Jack Van Impe. He probably either in his 90s now, or he dead, because he was old when I started following him. And he used to break down Revelation so tough. I was a fan. I was such a fan. And even when I left the church, I never left Revelations. And I was always thinking, some of this shit gotta be real.
Anything you pick up, Revelations is in. It don't matter what religion. Revelations is in every religion.
Right. I said this shit gotta be real. But I was kind of disappointed that none of the pastors in all of the churches and ministers that I know ever broke that book down. Not one. And I'm 52 years old. I haven't seen, other than Jack Van Impe, all the rest of the pastors, they could not break that book down. They used to stay on 1 or 2 scriptures. That one that said, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." That's the one they used to stay on. And there's another scripture in the Revelations that they used to always preach, but that was it. They didn't talk about what the 7 seals was. They didn't talk about what the 7 churches was. They didn't talk about none of that. Like I said, Jack Van Impe was the only one that broke it down, and to the point where I either said I believe him or I don't believe him. But I believed him. And everything this man talked about is being played out right now.
No, that's
everything in that book is being played out right now. And it's for a reason. And I think it's a reason why these ministers didn't want to teach Revelation.
They're scared of it. They're scared of it. Think about this. Look at all of these movies that's coming out about it. They showing us the people and then if you get too far into it, they kill them.
Yep. Yep.
If you tell too much, because you have to think about it, people forget that is a man-made book. The only people, if you want the truth, you got to go into these caves.
Yep.
The caves is what's gonna tell it.
Yep. Yep.
Didn't they find the whole statue in the Grand Canyon?
Wow. Do y'all do y'all watch B Dale? He's a brother. He got a YouTube channel. I think he on Facebook too. Cause I follow him. He be breaking all this shit down. Cause I met a lot of brothers that studied under Dr. York. That's the only reason why I know what I know. Believe it or not. I don't hate men. I don't hate all men. I learned a lot because I kept my mind open. I was eager to understand the mind of Dr. York. Everything this man talked about in his books, his tablets, is being played out right now. Yeah, it's to the point though that the people that know this aren't really telling it truthful, but there are a few people that
it's telling
it out. Yes, they're putting this shit out. They're telling us that this planet is resetting. Nibiru is here. Based on the thing is, you have to have discernment, because you're not going to know what is true and what's not true, what's revelation and what is man-made. Well, it's all man-made, but when I say man-made, I mean when we talk about the aliens coming from the clouds, is that Project Bluebeam, or are they really aliens? Because they got a whole federation, a space federation that they got that most people ain't even talking about. They're hiring.
And that's the thing.
You gotta have a degree mostly to work in some of the fields, but they're hiring. The Space Federation is hiring. So you have to ask yourself, is it all the rules? Because They lied to us about going to the moon the way they go to the moon. Now, don't get me wrong. They do go to the moon. They just haven't been to the moon the way they showed us. See?
Exactly. That's like the moon. Remember when we were little, we used to have lots of stars in the sky? When's the last time you saw the sky full of stars?
Yeah, go to the country.
When I go out in certain areas, I can see more, but I don't see the same like we used to. You're right.
That's because it's not that they're not there. They're still there, but you have to think about it. We live in city areas.
With
They're
light.
not
Yeah, they
light.
call it light.
Go down south, or you go to more rural areas where there's
Yeah.
no lights. Oh, you can see every last star. You can see all the galaxies, all of everything, but you can't go nowhere in the city where there's a ton of light.
Yep. They call it what they call it.
I missed that when I was little.
Yeah, what do they call it? We have a lot of
holograms.
They do have holograms now. So that's another thing. We have to discern if when we seeing Jesus crack the clouds and walking down out of a cloud, because there's gonna be some cloud walkers. But that's also been described in ancient tablets that people were going to, because when they come back and people got pictures. They got pictures of a person, took a picture of the rainbow coming out of a cloud. They said that's a sign of Pluto coming back into the unit, coming back into the atmosphere.
And that was funny. It said, who was it? Moses was the first one to download from the iCloud onto a tablet. I said, oh, y'all fooling.
Yep.
But it's like truth in that, though.
Yep.
It's like serious truth in that.
Yep. You can take that too and talk about the towers of Babel being satellite towers. Because it's communications, right?
Yeah.
Babel was about communications, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. I say, don't think the book of Revelations was actually written millions of years ago. I mean, not the Revelation, not the book itself, but the Bible itself it's just a bunch of texts that was some of the stuff in the Bible wasn't written until the 13th century.
Right. Yeah. Like King James came in, he's like, I don't like the way the Bible's written. Let me do it my way. Hold on. Wait a minute. So we gonna believe somebody wasn't even there? Really? Yeah. Really? And then how many books disappeared? They said it's 126 or 162 books gone that the Vatican is holding on to.
Yeah, and they said it was 60 something books. That's in the Bible, right? But there's 100 and something. It's part of those books are in the Quran. They said.
Yeah, they are. They're in the Quran, and then a lot of the stuff, like if you go, like I didn't went to different like religions because I wanted to know some of the stuff for myself. Like let me go to your Bible study. I want to see what y'all talk about.
Yeah,
a lot of the same books, like literally the Bible and the Quran, if you put them side by side, chapter by chapter, they pretty much the same. They just changed the wording.
Yep. I didn't study that much of the Quran. I only did a few what they call the scriptures, surahs or whatever. I just know a little bit about the Muslim, Islam. I don't know that much about it, but I know enough to know that it's an Abrahamic religion that was invented and created by men.
Yeah,
for men. So
and that was the religion created by Black men for Black men.
And all the religions, to me, all have they all belittle women. So if you read this book, and it was actually written by somebody who was a doctor here at Hutzel Hospital, Leonard Shalin, The Alphabet versus the Goddess. That is one of the best books I've ever read. And the premise of his book was because...
Can you type it in the chat? Because I need to check it out. It's a comment section if you see it at the bottom. Type the name of that book in the chat because I want to check it out.
Oh, hold on. She find it for me. I don't have my glasses. Okay. The Alphabet. That is one of the... He was a physician, a doctor at Hutzel Hospital, and he said that the Black women were not receiving the proper medical care. They were just, cast aside. This was in the 50s. He wrote this. Versus the Goddess by man. And they talk about how at some point a woman has been cast aside basically because the jealousy of the men. By Leonard Shalin. That is one of the best books. Leonard Shalin. Okay. There you go. Did it pop up?
I might have to check it. But y'all give me a second. I hate to I don't want to cut this off, but I gotta step out for a second.
Oh no worries. We getting ready to go visit my my mother anyway. So
Okay, well listen, we can pick this up another time. I'd love to have y'all back on the show. The Griot Lounge. It's on YouTube and StreamYard and Facebook. I look because didn't you supposed to do a letter to your younger self?
yeah, and I didn't do it because I was too busy at work and trying to get some rest. So that was my fault. I'm still gonna do it. I still want to do that though. I still want to do that.
If you don't feel like writing and you just want to talk about it, we can do that too. You know, if you don't want to just write it down, but you can just start your conversation off with "Dear Younger Me," and then you can put it together like that too. It don't have to be formal, you know. You don't get a grade on it. But,
I know, right?
Right. But I enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate y'all so much. I hate that I gotta go, but it's been over an hour, and it didn't even seem like it's been that long. I was only gonna be here for a few minutes and get y'all's opinion. But thank y'all so much, sisters, and I would love to talk to y'all to connect later. But that's gonna be my next show, about the younger letter to the younger self. You know,
I would love that. So yes, we had good conversation today, so we will definitely be back. Definitely.
All right now.
All right.
See y'all. Talk to y'all later.
All right. You too.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Bye, honey.
Bye bye.